Students, today we are going to discuss the poverty alleviation programs in India. Okay, so these are the programs made by the government to remove poverty in the country. There are two kinds of programs, self-employment and wage employment. So as the name suggests, self-employment means when we are giving some loans or some help to the people to start their own work. Okay, they start their own work. And in the wage employment, the people are working for the wages. They are given work and they work for the wages are given to them. So let's first discuss the self-employment programs which are taken by the government of India. First is Rural Employment Generation Program, REGP. So this is a self-employment program in rural areas or the small towns. So this was implemented by Khadi and Village Industry Commission, and in this these people are given the bank loans so they can start a small business. They can start something which creates them a self-employment by setting up a small business. What about the Prime Minister? Next is Prime Minister Rozgar Yojana. So firstly, this scheme is both for the rural and urban areas, and they are especially the people who are educated and unemployed and they are poor. So for them the help is being given to generate employment by some different enterprises that they can begin with. So the government is trying to set up the micro enterprises 7 lakh under the 8th plan, and 3 million people got the employment under this scheme. So that's a big number, and this is especially for both the areas, and especially for the unemployed educated people, so they can also themselves able to earn, and they can create jobs also if they are having an enterprise by taking the loans under this particular scheme. Next, so Swarn Jayanti Shahri Rozgar Yojana. Shahri is something which is related to the urban areas. So this scheme is for employment for the urban areas, and this scheme particularly, it is both for the wage employment and self-employment. It means that self-employment opportunities are also created under this scheme, and people are also given wages for work. So this is a centrally sponsored scheme. You need to understand the central state ratio is also given 75:25. Next is Swarn Jayanti Gram Swarozgar Yojana. So what the scheme wants, it needs to prepare, it aims to prepare and promote micro enterprises to bring the assisted poor families, okay, to bring them out of the poverty. This is actually Gram Yojana. Gram means it is for the rural areas, and it is to remove the poverty from there. It is to assist the poor people and bring them above the poverty line by organizing them in the self-help groups. This all scheme relate to the self-help groups that can be created in the rural areas. We already know about this scheme. Under this scheme, what happens? People, they pool together money, save money, and they give loans amongst themselves. So if they are regular in their activities, these people can also get loans from the banks. So this is a very good scheme for the people who are unable to get loans from the bank due to lack of collateral, because they have no assets. But with this scheme, they can avail the bank loans even without collateral. So next comes the wage employment schemes. Wages are being given to the people for employment. Sampoorna Gramin Rozgar Yojana. So this is again, Gramin means it is related to the rural areas, and it provides the employment through the labor work. Okay, they are providing the work to the people, and people are getting the food security and nutrition security. So this is something which is related to this particular. Now if you see, wages are paid in under this Sampoorna Gramin Yojana. How they are attaining this food security or nutrition level? Because they are paying not in terms of money but in terms of food grains and cash for the work done. So manual work, unskilled work which is done in the villages, for that food is paid to the people. National Food for Work program, and this was launched in 2004. So what it is all about? It is about it is implemented in 150 backward districts and to provide the resources to the people. 100% centrally sponsored scheme. This was incorporated in Manrega 2005. And Manrega, what does it aim? You know about Manrega, you read about Manrega earlier also. 100 days of guaranteed work is given to a member of a below poverty line family. And even if this is guaranteed, how? Even if the work is not given, they have to be paid the wages. Okay, so Manrega scheme is also there under the Food for Work program. So every person who want to work will be able to get the work under this scheme. Next is Social Security Program, NSAP. This is also a centrally sponsored scheme, and this is targeted, okay, elderly people, those who don't have anyone, they are given the pension so that they can live. Poor women, destitute, widows, they are also covered under the National Social Assistance Program. Some questions are being asked in your exam, like what do you mean by Food for Work program? Okay, when was it launched? So you can give it that National Food for Work program was launched in 2004, and it is centrally sponsored scheme, and it is incorporated in Manrega. You will give the points like this. Okay, they can ask you a particular scheme. So they can ask you, give an example of a self-employment in rural areas and urban areas. Okay, for rural areas, you know, the self-employment scheme is Rural Employment Generation Program, REGP, and for the urban area it is Swarna Jayanti Shahri Rozgar Yojana, SJSRY. Then they can ask you, what is the special scheme that is adopted for the elderly and the poor and destitute women? So that is National Social Assistance Program, which is also a centrally sponsored scheme. So you can give the details about that. They can ask you a particular program, 2 programs, so you have to answer it like this, and you have to understand these particular the schemes which are given, which are initiated by the government. You need to understand them, because so that you can write about them. Okay, you can write the year, you can write the main points from the schemes. So students, in this way you will answer these questions. Students, now this is also important to discuss what are the causes of poverty in the country. There are many reasons, like increased population of the country. As the population increase, but the income is not increasing, what happens? The per capita income is decreasing as the population is increasing and national income is not increasing. So per capita income is decreasing, that is the reason of poverty. Then economic development is less. Okay, development, output in the industry is less, output in the agriculture is less, infrastructure is not up to the mark. So these are the many economic these are the reasons for the economic backdrop. Okay, poor state of agriculture, we are still using the old methods, we are still dependent on rainfall, so we are actually not able to come out of those problems, and the state of agriculture is very pathetic. Illiteracy rate, we know many people are illiterate in the country. They cannot be a human resource, okay? They cannot push their countries towards the path of development and growth. So this illiteracy is also a very important cause of poverty in the country. Next, we see unemployment, people not having jobs, people who are temporarily unemployed, people who are not at all employed, who are unemployed there, and the people who get work limited time of the year. Okay, these are all the cases of unemployment. So basically, when people are unemployed, they are not having any means, then they tend to be poor, they are under poverty. Then indebtedness, high level of indebtedness, they are borrowing money, they are not able to return, and they are further borrowing the money, so they are under debt. Okay, and this debt also the reason of poverty of most of the people who are taking loans, and who are taking loans from the informal sources like money lenders or zamindars and etc. Then we talk about inequalities of income and assets in the country is so much, like only few people are having most of the wealth, and the rest of the people are living in poverty. So unequal distribution of income is there. Inflation, the prices are rising of the commodity every time, and now we hear to the news that the prices are again rising for petrol or diesel or the basic commodities. So when the price rise, when the things are out of the reach of common people, they cannot buy them. So what it leads to? It leads to poverty. It leads to the people pushed into the problem of poverty. So we can say that there are two type of people in the country. One who have the means, who are the rich people, and the other who are poor section, who are who have only their labor to survive. Okay, so there is a lot of gap between the two groups, and this gap over a period of time is increasing. So inequalities are increasing, and we are facing the problem of poverty, and we are not able to, even after so many years of independence, we are not able to tackle the problem. Even after having so many schemes, so many ways to do it, we are unable to still tackle the situation. So what are the problems with our poverty elevation schemes? We know the causes of poverty, we know the government efforts made to remove poverty, but still we are we are having the poverty in the country because we don't have that much of resources. The very first time, we don't have funds, to run these programs successfully and to cover the entire population. Then the asset is unequally distributed in the country. That is why the poor without assets, we are unable to improve their situation. The programs which are implemented, they are having corruption, they are having problems, they are not able to include every person, so that is lack of initiative there. Then we have infrastructural problems. We don't have we are still lacking the infrastructure. Our schools, there should be more roads, more schools, more training institutions, so we can cover the most of the population, and we can come out of the problem of poverty. We need a proper and better and improving infrastructure. Poor people are unable to participate. Why? We cannot assume that the economic growth is improving, so the poverty will itself go away. No. Along with the increase in output, the share should be distributed to the poor also. They are not given the share in the fruits of success of the country, you can say that. So until and unless they are also a part of a country, they are also getting a benefit of these programs, we cannot come out of the problem of poverty. till then. So in this way we can say that there has been an change in the poverty. There has been an at times we see trends that people are really coming out of it, but still a huge population, we have a huge population who is living under the poverty line. And this basic problem, it is not able to be solved. There is a need of improvement in the standard of living of people, in the nutrition of people, in the basic needs to be fulfilled of the people, and they need to be come out of the poverty, because everyone has a right to have a part in the development of a country. They should be also equally treated. They should also be able to gain from the economic growth of the country. So in this way we can say that still a lot of efforts need to be done in this direction. We need to improve our programs. We need to have a better approach, better execution towards them. So students, that's the end of the lecture. Today we get through the critical evaluation of poverty elevation. We knew the causes of poverty. We are able to understand the different programs that were initiated by the government to remove poverty. Okay, thank you.